So last weekend, I rented a RED Komodo X. And here's why that's changed my opinion on Nikon and RED cameras and video cameras in general. I'd seen some videos by Marcus Brownlee talking about the color science of RED cameras, in particular about skin tones, and that got me really intrigued. On top of the fact that I've been playing with Nikon cameras here and there all of 2025, trying to kind of decide between the Panasonic Lumix L-mount Alliance ecosystem and the Nikon ecosystem. As I think for full frame stuff, those are my best bets right now. Especially with the release of the Sony FX2 and how underwhelming that was. I think that's right. It's Nikon and Panty Boy time right now. 2025 years is the year of Panty Boy and Nikon. But anyways, since I've been playing with Nikon cameras and had some Nikon lenses here, I decided that since Nikon bought RED and you can get a Z-mount RED camera now, I would rent one and try it out. I was happy to see that Lens Rentals had the Z-mount in stock already, so I went ahead and got it. And man, did that camera impress me. A big part of the reason that I was so interested in the L-mount Alliance and Panasonic cameras is that they supposedly have better video features, right? For sure, it has class-leading IBIS, and then of course the Panasonic cameras have a bunch of great monitoring features. They've even added false color in the cameras, and of course you can shoot in open gate at like high frame rates and high resolutions. But I have to say, the photo shooting experience of Lumix cameras left me wanting a little bit. They're like a little bit sluggish in photo, and just like the focus box doesn't quite move smoothly the way I want it to. You know, the cameras just don't feel as good as the Nikon cameras, but it's like very close. It's very close. So I think you'd be happy with either one, and both are excellent cameras. But I wasn't so bowled away by the video features of the Panasonic that I was like, boom, this is way better than a Nikon, a Canon, and a Sony, or whatever, Fuji, you know? I was like, these are nice to haves. But the reality is that the vast majority of features, all you got to do is take your Atomos Ninja and plug it into your camera, right? Even like anamorphic D-squeeze. I'm not sure who's like rigging up a mirrorless camera with like, a big PL mount adapter and, Blazar, anamorphic lenses, which I bought one, video coming soon. And then doesn't have the time to just throw an Atomos or some other, a video recording screen on the camera so you can de-squeeze it there. So that's out. You can get most of the monitoring tools on an Atomos. So like that stuff is kind of a wash for me. The one thing that Panasonic cameras do have in terms of video is open gate recording. I will give them that. But it wasn't this like game changer in terms of video that I thought it might be. On the other hand, the RED camera kind of was, okay? There were 4 reasons I was like totally blown away by the RED camera, 3 having to do with RED and 1 actually having to do with Nikon. So I'll put up some image samples comparing the RED camera to other cameras later in the video. I just wanted to let you know it's coming, but I'm going to get through the reasons and then I'll just throw up those video samples. So the first reason is indeed color science. Marcus Brownlee knows what he's talking about. The RED color science is bang on, it's gorgeous, it's rich. I don't know if it's 16-bit color or not, but I actually liked the color of the RED camera better than the Fuji GFX 100 Mark II that I tested this against, among other cameras. There's just something about the color coming out of that RED camera. It's accurate, skin tones look so good, the highlight roll off, the tones, so nice. And it's accurate in a bunch of different situations. Bad lighting, good lighting, you overexpose, you underexpose. Generally speaking, the RED's color is going to be more accurate than any other camera I tested. And I tested, a Panasonic camera, a Fuji camera, a Nikon camera, all kinds of stuff, And the RED color is always nicer and often more color accurate. So if the RED were slightly cheaper, or like Nikon implements that color science in their cameras, or they come out with like an FX3 or I guess FX2 now killer with the RED color science, I mean, that's just like a game changer in my opinion. The LUTs come close, but they're not quite the same. There's something they're doing in that camera. I don't know if it's like the sensor architecture or what, but the color science is phenomenal. The second thing that blew me away about the RED camera is how it handles its files. The R3 or R3D files are actually raw files. It's shooting in RAW, like a compressed RAW. But the way that RED handles these massive RAW files is that it breaks it into 4 gigabyte chunks, which normally you would think would be a nightmare, having to drag over the files and all this stuff one by one, but you don't. You put a little piece of software on your computer. It works with Final Cut Pro. I believe it works with DaVinci and Premiere. And all you have to do is drag one of those 4 GB files into your timeline, and then boom, you get the whole thing. And at least for me, using like M2 and M3 Max, did not make Final Cut Pro chug at all. Worked like a dream. You get the color, it's not a proxy, and it just works great. I don't understand why more camera companies don't do this, or this is some sort of proprietary technology to RED, but it's awesome. It's such an elegant solution for editing such big raw files. Man, do I hope Nikon uses this technology in all of its cameras. It's so good. And then on top of that, because it's raw files, it's raw footage, in the software that you download to put into Final Cut Pro, basically, you can change all kinds of things with the footage with little sliders, including ISO and white balance. It's so good. The third reason that I was so impressed with the RED camera was the sensor itself. It's a Super 35 sensor. It is basically APS-C, and I would love a larger one, but I can see why. It's like, I believe it's a global shutter, like the rolling shutter, and the readout speed is super fast. Like you could definitely use it in run and gun situations. The camera is small enough that like you could rig it up or not rig it up and use it. And just, man, super impressed with just overall performance of that sensor. The fourth and final reason I like the RED camera so much is lens selection. Besides the Z-mount, you can adapt basically anything to this thing. It's basically like a mirrorless camera. But the thing that really won me over about it is this guy. The Nikon Nikkor 28-135 power zoom video lens. I rented this too for the RED. It was so good I went out and bought one. I have to say, normally, like, Nikon zoom lenses for the Z-mount haven't been my favorite. Like, they're so sharp and clean, it's like almost too clean for me. But this is like tuned for cinema. It has such a nice image for video. It's just so impressive. Combined with that fast reading, beautiful color science RED camera, it was just a dream. So I bought this. I'm probably going to shoot most of my YouTube videos using this lens and like a Nikon Z8, which I'm filming on now. At least until I can find a RED that's cheap enough, that's used, that I can buy. This is just a phenomenal lens. Holy buckets, does it look good? Does it render nicely? Do I wish it was f2.8? Sure, but I mean, look at this. It's not that big of a lens, and it's got a massive zoom range. This is basically the only video lens I'm ever gonna need, right? It's under $3,000, and it is like cinema grade quality. I don't know if I can afford to rent like a Leica cinema lens, but I will rent like, maybe some Zeiss lenses, and I'm pretty sure this is going to stack up very nicely. It's just a superb piece of cinema glass. So impressed with this. If there is like a budget lens, like the Athena Nisis are super clean, I think this renders not more nicely. But like, if there is some comparison you want to see with this lens, let me know. Happy to do it. Those are the reasons I'm so impressed with RED. And that's also the reason I'm kind of like more interested in Nikon cameras now, right? I'm on and on about this like upgrade path thing, and Nikon has truly fleshed out its lineup. It's got like, entry-level full-frame stuff, an APS-C entry-level camera. They're both solid, the Z5 II and the Z50 II. Then you have like the Z6 III, which is super solid, is basically an S1 II, just saying, without the video assist features, but then you put on the monitor and basically it's just Duplicate. And then you have the Z8, which like Panasonic doesn't have a match to that, right? The only other maker that has a match to that really is the Canon R5 II. Sony has the A1 II, but it's like several $1,000s more. But anyways, Nikon has this lineup of entry-level full frame, mid-level full frame, pro full frame, and then I really do see that you have the like super pro aspirational stuff, the RED cinema camera, and then I'm going to count the Hasselblad system as the photograph medium format for them, because you can use all your Nikon accessories with Hasselblad, right? Like I can use my Broncolor RFS3 transmitter on both my Nikon cameras and the Hasselblad. Can't do that with Panasonic, can't do that with Canon. So like the Nikon ecosystem is very fleshed out for me, Would I rather that Nikon came out with its own medium format? For sure, for photography. But as it is, it kind of does work well. Would I love to see a Nikon Z7 III come out? Yup. I'm going to make a video about my wish list for that camera. Do I wish the Nikon ZF had a joystick, a higher megapixel sensor, better EVF, etc., shutter protector over the sensor, keep dust off the sensor? Sure do, but at least they've got an everyday carry retro camera in the lineup, right? So it goes, entry-level stuff, not for me, but it's good it's there. Everyday carry camera, ZF, pretty solid. Mid-level, pro-level, full-frame cameras, Z6 III, Z8, and then aspirational super pro, super high-end job stuff. The Hasselblad, the RED, you got the whole path, baby. And maybe some of the best options along that path, really, Z8's a killer camera for the price. So is the Z6 III, But the problem then is that aspirational stuff in this ecosystem that I'm sort of, creating here around Nikon is that those aspirational cameras are expensive. I already have the Hasselblad, so that's sunk cost. It's all good. I have to decide if I want to sell my GFX 100 Mark II and the lenses for that. For photography, the Hasselblad's more enjoyable experience, but the autofocus is not as good. I'll make at least one more video about the GFX 100 RF for video. It is good, but it's more only if you're behind the camera good. It's not great for this stuff. I feel like the Nikon cameras are better for this kind of stuff, talking head, YouTube, corporate interview stuff. I'm not sure I need both the Fuji and the Hasselblad. If you've watched my videos, you can make either one look the same. Yes, the Hasselblad, there's something nice they do with the toning and the shadows and the highlights and stuff. And the colors are nice, but get the white balance right in the Fuji. Just as good, that's not really the consideration. It's just kind of how does everything fit into my overall ecosystem. I don't know that I need two medium format cameras. And, if I sell the Fuji stuff and I can find a RED cheap enough, I can get a RED. The RED by itself, not rigged up, is not too bad. It's like $7 or $8 grand, I think, maybe $9 grand, the Komodo X. But since I don't have any of the stuff that goes with it, I'd be entering the RED ecosystem new. I would probably need to get the $12,000 or $13,000 package with the special monitor and the handle and a couple other doohickeys and whizzicles, and whoopity-doos. Perhaps most important, an XLR adapter, so I can just keep using this mic, But I don't know. There's also a part of me that wants to wait and see if Nikon does come out with an FX2, FX3 killer that has a lot of these RED features in it. So I don't need to spend the money on the RED. I don't actually need the RED. Just the colors are so nice. Nikon just put those colors in. They're so much better than your current colors. So much better. So yeah, I don't need the RED. But man, would it be nice to have. Man, would it make these videos look good. And honestly, it would make the editing process easier too, which is kind of a crazy thing to say for, whatever it is, $10,000 to $13,000 camera that only shoots in RAW, basically. But the RAW has anamorphic D-squeeze, so I can put all my anamorphic lenses on it. I don't know. There's a lot I could do with it. But renting that RED camera made me realize that the video technology enhancements I was looking for in the Panasonic L-mount aren't there. For better or for worse, they're in a much more expensive camera, the RED line of cameras, and Nikon owns it. And for that reason, I want those technological advancements. It's making me lean towards Nikon cameras. It's making me very interested in Nikon cameras and the future of that brand. I already like the photography experience of Nikon over almost any brand except for maybe Leica. I think they don't have the best color science. I think Canon, Leica, maybe even Panasonic, definitely Hasselblad, probably Fuji have better color science than Nikon. But if they replace it with the RED color science, then they might have the best color science of all the brands, So I guess this is just a long way of saying, the RED camera experience and using a camera that had actual technological advancements I haven't seen and experienced in a camera before made me really excited about all that and the future of Nikon. So for that reason, I'm definitely going to be looking more into the Nikon system. I'm shooting on a Z8 right now. I bought the Z8, so we'll see. I've got a Fujifilm GFX 100 Mark II that's maybe on the chopping block. I've got a Panasonic S1R2 that's maybe on the chopping block. Lots of stuff going on here. I've got a Nikon ZF again. I've got a Fuji GFX 100 RF that I want to test against the Hasselblad 907 CFV, no, 907X CFV 100 also. So lots more to come. Not just going to do content about Nikon, but man, very interested in Nikon. There'll be more Nikon stuff in this channel on days to come. So, what do you think? Have you tried RED cameras? Were you similarly pleasantly surprised by all the technology and advancements that RED has made in cameras? I'm sure, by the way, I'm sure many RED cameras have had these features. It's just my first experience with it, the Komodo X. I was blown away by it, just to be clear. But have you had that experience? Have you tried a RED camera? Did it make you excited about the future of Nikon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If I go with the Nikon system, does that mean I can buy an Oct? I know there's no such thing as a perfect camera, but I just want to keep trying. I know there's no such thing as a perfect camera. I know there's no such thing as a perfect camera, but I just want to keep trying.